Welcome back, and if you're following this video, it's because you want to install the latest version of Dakota. So here you have the link, the website, in the video description you have the link. The latest version is 6.21. Okay, so you can go to the website, read the latest release notes to download the software. Basically download. Here you go to this web page, you can read a little bit. And then the official download, now everything is centralized in GitHub, and you can go here. So there are many versions to download. Okay, so you have here the pre-release, and we're interested in the 6.21. Okay, so download this one, and we're working in Linux. Okay, so for Linux, you download the source code, that is this one here or this one here, and also I'm going to show you the GUI. Okay, so also you can download the GUI. Pretty much the same instructions you're doing in Windows subsist in Linux, also pretty much the same. Compilation in Windows is a little bit trickier. So I'm going to do it using the virtual machine, our virtual machine. Remember that from our website you can download it. You can also download the Windows subsist in Linux version. It's pretty much the same, but you don't have the graphical user interface, but it is the same. So to install Dakota, it is very straightforward. So as you follow our previous videos, it is just an incremental download. I'm strongly sure that you already have the requirements. So important requirements, install this one, which pretty much are the same with OpenSUSE. If you're an OpenSUSE user, or the same for any, let's say, application that requires the use of compiling and numerical libraries. Then for Dakota, we have this specific requirement. So in the video description, you have the link to download this file. So pretty much, as I mentioned, as you install previous versions, you already have this one. Probably if you are moving from an older version of OpenSUSE, probably you have this boost library is 1.66. You can upgrade to 1.75. I strongly recommend it. There is no problem. Okay, so these are your requirements, and pretty much that is. So you can use from the command line interface using zipper, or you can use the graphical user interface just to show you. So if you're using our virtual machine or Windows subsist in Linux, remember the password is always cfd1234. So let me go here, for instance, okay, and here also you can go zipper and look for that. So cfd1234. So remember, just copy and paste this one. Is going to install those libraries that you require to compile Dakota. So that's why it loads there. And also, okay, so for instance, you go here, boost, and there you go. You just find the library. So it's up to you. Okay, how do you want to install those libraries? You have here the exact libraries that you want to install. Okay, so now that I'm here, I already have Dakota installed. So a very important requirement that open your bash RC, okay, and comment if you have a previous version of Dakota installed, because already I'm going to overwrite what I have. Comment that version, okay? Don't put the 6.21, okay? This is important. Otherwise, we are going to use the links to the previous one, so it might give you problems, okay? So update your bash RC to the latest version, 6.21, okay? Then, okay, I would install everything in directory Dakota. At this point, let me do some cleaning, okay? Dakota 6.21. Okay, erase everything. rn, rf, Dakota 21, src. Okay, and also let me erase the GUI, which is 21, and then later I will erase the older version 620. I haven't erased that one because I still have some previous scripts that there is slight difference with 621, so I need to have it. So the first step, extract everything. So I will do Dakota. Okay, so this is very standard, nothing new. Okay, this is the GUI. Okay, so the GUI is pretty much ready to use. You don't need to do any compilation. Okay, so it's based in Java and so on. So Also, you add that path into your bash RC. So just to show you, in this case, I already have it. To run it is Dakota GUI, and it's going to run the GUI, the graphical user interface. I prefer the text interface, but it's up to you. So later I'm going to prepare some bits just to show you how to use the GUI, okay? But nothing new there. So now also let's extract, okay, it's F, the source code, okay, here is RC seal. Okay, so very important, we extract the source code, and to compile you need ccmake, okay, you have it also in the requirements, and we create a new directory. I will call it Dakota 6.210, and here we enter, okay, and here's where we're going to do all the compilations. So you have the source code somewhere, and then the ccmake, it will copy everything here. You're going to have everything centralized here, and to do that, you go here, you give the path where you have your source code, and my source code, it is where, okay, here, no, okay, I lost my source code, okay, put it, okay, SRC here, okay, got lost there, okay, so now you enter, you press C to configure, and it's going to access now the source code. It's going to do all the configuration. So if you follow the instructions and you have all these requirements, nothing's going to happen, okay? But if you're missing something, it's going to give you the error here. Now, so read the output and it will tell you, okay, you're missing this library or that library. At the end, it's going to tell you. In this case, we have all the requirements that we show here, and we can press it. And now you go to the configuration screen. So here you have a lot of stuff. You can configure your installation. So take your time to read that, and let me increase here. Okay. So there are many options. The most important one is this one, where you are telling what do you want to install Dakota. So recall that we created this specific directory. So I want to install Dakota in this directory. Okay, so let me copy it. No, it's not that one. The path of this one. Okay, so this is where I want to copy install Dakota, and here just change this one, install prefit. So press E to insert, and let me paste there the path, and there you go. So pretty much this will be the only requirement when it comes to path. But also we need to do another modification. So let me show you that. I press now C to configure with the new path, and look at that, it's giving me an error where I was telling you that always read the screen, and it's telling you that something related to Trilino's library and this specific variable, okay, set group and permissions, okay? So we need to fix that. So every time that you're missing something and you have an error, you are going to have the message here. So I know specifically what is this error. So now to change that, because we need to give the same path, this same path to that specific library, we need to enter into advanced options. Now, so see here that you have the T, toggle advanced, and we have more options. So feel free to read these options. Probably you would like to enable one. I'm not compiling Dakota in parallel, so you can compile it in parallel using MPI to run, but there is no need unless you want to do something specific. But here you have a lot of things. You can install additional libraries. The one that I'm interested in, the entry here, let's see, Trilino, set permission, should be this one, okay? So there you go. So in this one also you need to enter, okay? And now we can give the path where we want to install, okay? Paste, and that's it. Okay, you can keep reading. So as I mentioned, you have many options, okay? So we're happy with that. Press C again, configure, and see that no error, everything is perfect. Exit. We configure everything, and now we can press G to generate. It will generate all the scripts, and that's it. ls, and there you go. We have all the configurations. So to recap here, or to do a summary, basically we extracted the source code here. We created this directory where we're going to do all the compilation, and here we have the GUI. Here we have the GUI. Okay, so that's it. And now we can go and compile. So all these steps, remember, you have in the video description the link, and you have everything, all the comments and so on. You have everything there. We can go make, and as I'm running in parallel, I have access to 32 cores. Let me go 24. Okay, J24, and it will do the compilation in parallel, and everything should go smooth. So let's wait for the compilation. Okay, there we go. There you go. You have an installation. Everything went fine. I had a few warnings. Don't pay attention to that. Also, to give you a warning, sometimes when you compile in parallel, it might crash the compilation, so you can relaunch. Okay, so in this case, it didn't crash. I run with 24 cores, but it might happen sometimes that it can crash just because I'm running many processes and whatever, the system is messing around. So that being said, we are done with the compilation, and the last step is make install. So it will copy all the binaries, move all the files, and so on. And at this point, we should be ready. Okay, so make install finish, and then the last test to know that we have a correct installation, Dakota -B, and you will get the version number there. And this is it. You have the installation there. To remind you here, the bash rc, in your bash rc, you need to give the correct path. You have this in the documentation, so Dakota is very well documented, by the way. So here you have documentation, so you have all the instructions and setting your environment and so on. Okay, you will have that if you are in doubt. In any case, you have our file here that we give all the instructions and so on. Okay, so you don't get lost. This one, remember, when you do the installation of 21, unload version, any previous version, otherwise you can have some problems on conflicting libraries. But apart from that, that's it. So we have Dakota executable working, and we have the GUI. Okay, in my case also I added in the path, and it's working. And before ending this video, let's do a test of Dakota with a few samples. Okay, so let's run 2 test cases to be sure that Dakota is working fine. So we know that the executable is there, is working, is doing something. So here you have, you should have this test cases directory. In the video description, you have the link. 2 test cases, very simple. Okay, so let's run the first one. Okay, I'm not going to explain what we're doing, what we're doing, how the case is set up. For that, there is another playlist, and we keep expanding that playlist. So to test that actually everything, so let's enter to the first one, Rosenberg for interface. So this is the classical optimization case, the Rosenberg function. So to be sure that everything is working, Dakota, okay, so we know that -B will tell you the version and so on, but now -I to read an input file, and I know that the input file is Dakota case.in. So here's where we set up the optimization problem, and there you go. So it is running. No problem, it would run a lot of iterations. Okay, probably a little bit close to 200, so let's wait a little bit. Also, I forgot to mention that you need to have to run this test case because it's running the function. It is being evaluated using Python 3. You need to have Python 3 in your path. Okay, so if you get an error that executable not found, it's because you don't have Python 3, so be aware of that. So there you go, we have a solution, and probably, you know, the solution to this problem is 1 1, and there you go, in 190 iterations. We can check also, let me, here I have a new script, and let me go there, do some plotting, and let me copy the last lines. And there you go. Okay, so we start somewhere here, and then the algorithm is moving here, iterating, and then I find the optimal value here. So this is working fine. As I mentioned, I'm not going into details what is happening there, because that corresponds to another playlist that you should have in the video description. There is another script here that is called Dakota cleanout. Okay, so you want to erase, because when you run, look at that, you have the trace of everything you have done. Okay, so sometimes that can be a lot of information. So this script will do a clean out, and you will go to the initial state. So that was coupling Dakota with a black box tool in Python. So there you go. You know how to do the coupling. But the next one, so we work a lot with OpenFont. So we have this problem, the cavity OpenFont 12. So let's run the problem. Again, I'm not going into details what is happening here, just what we're going to do, optimization problem using a gradient method, Dakota coupled with OpenFont. Okay, so you need to have OpenFont, so remember low OpenFont, then, well, I mentioned low Python 3, because here also Python 3 is used for some post-processing, and at this point Dakota minus I Dakota case, and there you go. So basically what is happening, we're launching many OpenFont cases and getting the function, and at the end of the day we get this. Okay, so this is the optimal value using the a gradient based algorithm. You have all the trace what happens. So at this point we're 100% sure that Dakota is working. We're doing this for fun, okay, to show you that you can couple with OpenFont. And let's run another case, a vector parametric case, design space exploration. Okay, so let's do design. Let me run here. Dakota case. So here we're not using a gradient method to converge to a solution. Basically, we're exploring. So in some way, it is not a converging method. I cannot say it is a divergent. We're just exploring. We have a solution there also. And let me go here, and I can compare both solutions that we have. So already have the trace here. Okay, no, it's not this one. Okay, let me go here, cavity readme, probably I think, okay, I have the line here to do the plotting in Python, in nuplot, sorry. And there you go. So we have this, what you see there corresponds to the gradient based method. So according to our problem formulation, the gradient based found the best value here. And here we see we design space exploration. As I mentioned, we're exploring, but in this case it happens that one of the values that we explore happens to be in the optimal area. So this is it, okay? Everything is working. Fantastic tool, Dakota. I use this a lot for optimization, but also design space exploration, code coupling, automation, orchestration of very complex workflows. It is a fundamental part in what I do when I do digital twin. Whatever definition you give to a digital twin, always have this tool to orchestrate, to synchronize, to put together all those tools. To remind you that it is very, very well documented. Okay, so you have the documentation. You are invited to read the documentation, and that's all. Remember, we have a playlist dedicated to Dakota. It is an old playlist. I think it's 2 years old, and we're going to work in a new one, but pretty much the concepts are the same. So thank you very much for your attention. See you next time. Bye.